Hello, hello. Is anyone there? Yes, we've got people there. Have we got actual people? If you're there, can you type a quick hi in the comments just so I can see people who are there? Just give it a couple of minutes for people to check in. You can do this even if you haven't registered, because you can just join in. There isn't a prize. It's just for the pride of getting as many right as possible. Hi, Dan. I've sent anyone who registered in advance. I have sent out the. Hi, everybody. Hi. I've sent out the. I've emailed you, so you should have had an email from us. I'm going to send the picture around now. So the picture round will give the answers right at the very end. So you've got a couple of hours to have a play with that. Hopefully that's come out. Can everyone hear me okay? Are you all saying hi? Okay, we're going to do this slightly differently to the last one. If you were on the last one, it got a bit chaotic with the scores. So what we're going to do is it's still going to be split into 3 sections. They're 3 sections of 25 questions each. And I'll give the answers at the end of each section, but don't send your scores until the very end of the quiz. So when we get to the very end, we'll do the picture round answers. Then you can gather up all your scores, email them to me, I will collate them, and I'll tell you who's won. So I'm going to send the questions round to you as well at the end of each round, so that if you miss anything, you can go back and have another look. I think we've got everybody in, hopefully. So I'm going to start, like I say, at the end of each section, I will send the questions so you've got them in case you've missed anything. If I'm going too slowly, if I'm too quiet, if I'm anything, just put a comment in that sidebar and I will pick up on it. I'm going to try. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to see if I can add the. I don't think you can post. You can't post videos there. So the general rules are no cheating, no Googling, no phones. I obviously can't stop you because you're sitting at home. Hi, Luke. Hi, Paul. Hi, Steve. So you can obviously cheat if you want to, but that kind of defeats the object. It's taken me ages to write these questions, so don't cheat. If you need to know anything, need anything clarified, stick a comment in the sidebar as well, and I'll see what I can do. I'm not going to give any clues, but if you didn't understand something, that's cool. So last time the theme was the lockdown. We'd only just entered lockdown, so it was all about people locked up, people going on adventures, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, we've been in lockdown for another 2 months since then now, so I think everyone's getting a bit bored of that. So I tried to avoid anything like that. And then I gave myself a theme for this quiz, which kind of painted me into a corner. So the theme of this quiz is the zodiac. So you'll get questions relating to each of the zodiac signs. What I realized very quickly is some things are easy to write film questions about, and some things are not. So for some of the zodiac signs, you will have 5 questions. For others, you will have 10. But there are 12 in total, and you will do all 20. 12, all 12. Sorry, I'm not with it here. So we're going to go through them in the order that they appear in the night sky, starting in March with Aries. So this is one of the ones where it was pretty difficult to write a load of questions about Aries the ram, because there aren't many films about rams. So these are all sheep related rather than just being rams. I hope that doesn't offend anyone's obsessive compulsive tendencies, I'm slightly offended by it. So this isn't split up into section A, section B, section C. The questions are 1 through to 75 to make it a bit easier. But I will let you know when we change sign and move on to a different category. So if you bear with me, I just need to get to this folder. Does anyone need anything? Everyone happy with what's happening? We're having a quiz. I'm going to try and stop at 8 o'clock, no matter where we are. It's the last of the clap for care workers. So if you want to go outside and have a clap, you're more than welcome. I'll stop a couple of minutes before and then we'll come back 5 minutes or so after. Okay, so we'll get going. The first 5 questions represent Aries the ram. And as I said, they are sheep related. So I'm going to start. Let me know if it's too fast, too slow. Question 1. Shaun the Sheep is a spin-off movie from the adventures of which popular claymation duo created by Nick Park and Aardman Animations? If you can hear a dog in the background, I apologise. So that's Shaun the Sheep is a spin-off movie from the adventures of which popular claymation duo created by Nick Park and Aardman Animations? Question 2. Sometimes referred to as the Pope of pop cinema, who is the director, producer and writer who made a cameo appearance in The Silence of the Lambs as FBI Director Hayden Burke? Sometimes referred to as the Pope of pop cinema, who is the director, producer and writer who made a cameo in The Silence of the Lambs as FBI Director Hayden Burke. And number 3, the 2015 film Rams tells the story of feuding sheep farming brothers living in a remote valley in which country? That's a 2015 film called Rams about feuding sheep farming brothers living in a remote valley. What country do they live in? Number 4, I'm going to read you the names of 3 films, and I'd like you to name the actress who was in all 3 of them. The 3 films are The Last Picture Show, Taxi Driver, and The Heartbreak Kid. That's Taxi Driver, The Last Picture Show, and The Heartbreak Kid. Steve, who's just commented, if you haven't seen my message on Facebook, drop your email address to info@snowcatcinema.co.uk and I'll send you the picture round. Okay, question 5. In Brokeback Mountain, Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger play sheep rangers who fall for one another in the Wyoming mountains. Who was the author of the short story the film was adapted from? So that's in Brokeback Mountain, Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger play sheep rangers who fall for one another in the Wyoming mountains. Who was the author of the short story that the film was adapted from? And team captains, you've just received those 5 questions in your mailbox. Okay, Speed? I take the silence as okay. So, 6 to 10 are the next zodiac sign, which is Taurus, the bull. I'll share the the picture around shortly, Steve, when we have a break. Aries, the ram, was the first one. We're now on Taurus, the bull. These are bull related. Question 6. 1959's musical Tommy the Toreador was a musical comedy vehicle for a British rock and roller that included the frustratingly catchy song Little White Bull. Little White Bull. Which Tommy was the star? So 1959's musical Tommy the Toreador was a musical comedy vehicle for a British rock and roller and included the frustratingly catchy song Little White Bull. Which Tommy was the star of the film? Question 7. What sport has Kevin Costner's character Crash Davis retired from in the 1988 film Bull Durham? So in the 1988 film Bull Durham, what sport has Kevin Costner's character Crash Davis retired from? Number 8. What's the name of the 2006 film starring Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon that was inspired by the Lawrence Stern novel The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy, Gentleman, famous for its epic digressions and footnotes within footnotes? So what's the name of the 2006 film starring Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon that was inspired by the Lawrence Stern novel The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy, Gentleman? Number 9. Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull told the life story of which boxer played by Robert De Niro? So Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull told the life story of which boxer played by Robert De Niro? I've just posted the picture around on Facebook and the first 5 questions. Question 10. Who played Anne Porter opposite Keanu Reeves's Jack Traven in the 1994 film Speed? Who played Anne Porter opposite Keanu Reeves' Jack Traven in the 1994 film Speed? And those questions 6 to 10 are about to hit your mailbox. Questions 11 to 20. There are 10 of these because this one was easier to write 10 questions for. Is Gemini, the twins. For each of the following, I'm going to give you the year, the title of the film, and the director of the film. You have to tell me the name of the actor who played twins in the film. Okay. So I'll give you the year, I'll give you the title, I'll give you the director, and I need the name of the actor who played twins in the film. So number 11, the year was 2010. The film is The Social Network. The director is David Fincher. Who was the actor who played twins? Number 12. It's 1972. The film is called Sisters. The director was Brian De Palma. (1972) Sisters of Brian De Palma. Number 13 is 1988. David Cronenberg's film Dead Ringers. Just the actor name who played twins. Number 14. It's a 2006 film, The Prestige, directed by Christopher Nolan. Number 15. 2002 film, Adaptation, directed by Spike Jonze. And number 16 is from 1946. It's a film called The Dark Mirror, and that was directed by Robert Siodmak, Siodmak. 1946, The Dark Mirror, who played the twins. Number 17 is from 1961. It's The Parent Trap, directed by David Swift. Number 18 is from 1991. The director is Sheldon Lettich, Lettich, and the film is called Double Impact. Number 19 is from 1999. The film is Bowfinger, and it's directed by Frank Oz. And number 20, from 1998, directed by Randall Wallace, is The Man in the Iron Mask. The Man in the Iron Mask. All okay with those ones? They are coming your way. (21 to 25) are Cancer, the crab. So again, pretty tricky to find enough questions about crabs specifically. So this has been widened to include similar crustacean shellfish. Question 21. What's the name of the actor and Olympic swimmer who portrayed Tarzan, Flash Gordon, and Buck Rogers in Saturday morning serials of the 1930s and the 1940s. Actor and Olympic swimmer who played Tarzan, Flash Gordon, and Buck Rogers in the 1930s and 40s. Number 22. What's the name of the 2015 absurdist comedy starring Colin Farrell and Rachel Weisz, the plot of which centres around single people being given 45 days to find a partner? If they fail, they are turned into animals. What's the name of that 2015 absurdist comedy? So Colin Farrell and Rachel Weisz play single people who have 45 days to find a partner, or they will be turned into animals. Number 23. Living in South African shanty towns, extraterrestrial visitors to Earth, nicknamed prawns, appear in which 2009 science fiction film? Living in South African shanty towns, extraterrestrial visitors to Earth, nicknamed prawns, appear in which 2009 science fiction film? Number 24. Which actor provides the voice of Mr. Krabs, with a K, the owner of the Krusty Krab, 2 Ks, restaurant in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie? Which actor provides the voice of Mr. Krabs? And number 25. Which actor first rose to fame outside his native Australia when he appeared in promotional tourism adverts and uttered the immortal phrase, "I'll slip an extra shrimp on the barbie for you"? It's the worst Australian accent. "I'll slip an extra shrimp on the barbie for you." So the actor who rose to fame outside his native Australia when he appeared in promotional tourism adverts, uttering the phrase, "I'll slip an extra shrimp on the barbie for you." So that's the first 25 questions. I've sent those 25 questions to your mailboxes. I put the picture around on Facebook if you want to go and find that, or I've sent it to you. So I'll give you a couple minutes. Well, in fact, we've got 8 minutes too. We do the answers now. Is everyone okay for me to do the answers? Type in a letter N if you need more time. Very quickly, or I'm going to start reading them out. Okay, I'm going to read them out. First section, Aries the Ram. Question 1. Shaun the Sheep is a spin-off movie from the adventures of which popular claymation duo created by Nick Park and Aardman Animations? The answer is Wallace and Gromit. Number 2, the director who had a cameo in Silence of the Lambs as FBI Director Hayden Burke is Roger Corman, B-movie director. Number 3, 2015 film called Rams about feuding sheep farming brothers is set in Iceland. Number 4, the actress who was in The Last Picture Show, Taxi Driver and The Heartbreak Kid was Sybil Shepherd. And Brokeback Mountain was based on a short story that was written by Annie Proulx. Proulx is spelled Proulx. Annie Proulx. The Taurus the Bull questions. 1959 musical Tommy the Toreador. The British rock and roller who was in that and sang Little White Bull was Tommy Steele. Number 7, Kevin Costner's character Crash Davis had retired from baseball. Number 8, the 2006 film starring Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon, it was based on the life and opinions of Tristram Shandy, gentleman, is A Cock and Bull Story. Number 9, Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull told the life story of Jake LaMotta, L-A and then M-O-T-T-A. And number 10, who played Anne Porter opposite Keanu Reeves in Speed, was Sandra Bullock. The twins, Gemini the twins. So number 11, 2010, The Social Network, David Fincher. The actor was Armie Hammer, playing Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, the Winklevi. Number 12, the 1972 Brian De Palma film Sisters. Danielle Breton and Dominic Blanchard were played by Margot Kidder. Number 13, the 1988 David Cronenberg film Dead Ringers has Jeremy Irons as Beverly and Elliot Mantle. 2006 film The Prestige, directed by Christopher Nolan, has Christian Bale as the twins. One is definitely called Alfred Borden, the other one known as Fallon, but don't worry about the names, just as long as you've got Christian Bale. Number 15, 2002 film adaptation, Nicolas Cage played Charlie and Donald Kaufman. Number 16, 1946 film The Dark Mirror by Robert Siodmak had Olivia de Havilland as the twins, Terry and Ruth Collins. Number 17, the 1961 film The Parent Trap. Susan Evans and Sharon McKendrick were played by Hayley Mills. Not quite twins. 1991 film Double Impact. The twins in that were Jean-Claude Van Damme as Alex and Chad Wagner. And question 19, 1999 film Bowfinger, directed by Frank Oz. Eddie Murphy played Kit and Jiff Ramsey. And then the last one before we go for a quick break, number 20, 1998, The Man in the Iron Mask was Leonardo DiCaprio. He was playing King Louis XIV and he was playing Philippe Bourbon. But just the name. We'll stop until maybe 5 past. 5 past, good. Yeah. Go and do your clapping, and I'll see you back here about 8:05. They are twins in Parent Trap. I just had a sudden moment of lack of faith. So yeah, if you've got any questions about any of those questions, drop me a line. Come back here about 8:05. Give it another couple of minutes. If you can hear a dog barking in the background, that's my dog. We got dive bombed by a seagull this morning in the back garden, and he hasn't been the same since. He's looking up at the sky all the time and is very upset by the experience, as was I. So I hope you're all keeping okay out there. We haven't forgotten about you. We're starting to plan how we could possibly get the doors of the cinema back open, but it's pretty tricky at the moment. While social distancing is a requirement, it's very difficult to get people in and out of the cinema, to get them sitting far enough apart, and to not have them breathing one another's air for 2 hours. So we're going to have to go back to the drawing board, I think, as are many independent cinemas. And places like Cineworld are doing the same. It's going to be very difficult. Alan, we have the same problem every year. We have a family of seagulls that live on a chimney pot behind our house, and they have babies, and then they're terrified that we're going to climb up on the chimney pot and get them, so they come down to get us first. Horrendous every year. But thank you. Okay, so hopefully we're all back. We've got the next 5 questions that I hadn't given the answers to yet, and then we'll do the next round of questions. So question 21. The name of the actor and Olympic swimmer who portrayed Tarzan, Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers in the 1930s and 1940s was Buster Crabbe. Crabbe. We need to do that, Alan. We'll put spikes up. Number 22. The name of the 2015 absurdist comedy starring Colin Farrell and Rachel Weisz, where they play single people who have 45 days to find a partner or they will be turned into animals. That's called The Lobster. The Lobster. 23. South African shanty towns with extraterrestrial visitors to Earth nicknamed prawns. That's in the film District 9. And number 24. Mr. Krabs, the character from SpongeBob SquarePants, is voiced by Clancy Brown. Clancy Brown. Okay, number 25. The actor who first rose to fame outside Australia when he appeared in promotional tourism adverts and said, "I'll slip an extra shrimp on the barbie for you," was Crocodile Dundee himself, Paul Hogan. So we're on to part 2. Next 25 questions. And we start with Leo the lion. For these ones, you will find there are 10 of these. The answer will either be a lion in the title of the film, a lion in the film as a character, or actual lions in or around the film. For each of these, I'm going to read you a quote from the film, and I'd like you to just tell me the name of the film. Nice and simple. Number 26. So I read the quote, you tell me the film. It's a film with lion in the title, lion in the film, about lions. Number 26. Everything the light touches is our kingdom. Everything the light touches is our kingdom. Number 27. two characters in this scene. I'll tear them apart. I may not come out alive, but I'm going in there. There's only one thing I want you fellas to do. What's that? Talk me out of it. So that's 27. I'll tear them apart. I may not come out alive, but I'm going in there. There's only one thing I want you fellas to do. What's that? Talk me out of it. Number 28. What's the film this quote is from? Rubber Dinghy Rapids, Bro. Rubber Dinghy Rapids, Bro. Number 29. Number 29. Although at one time we were afraid she'd die, Elsa did recover. And when she did, she seemed somehow different. That's although at one time we were afraid she'd die, Elsa did recover. And when she did, she seemed somehow different. Number 30. What are you trying to prove? That you can have lions socializing with people? What are you trying to prove? That you can have lions socializing with people? Number 30. It's the name of the film this quote is from. What are you trying to prove? I've done that one, sorry. 31. Oh, Eleanor, you've brought me my tombstone. You spoil me. Oh, Eleanor, you've brought me my tombstone. You spoil me. And number 32. 7, 28, 29, 30. 30 black and only 29 white. Looks like you're black with white stripes after all. Dilemma solved. Good night. That's 27, 28, 29, 30. 30 black and only 29 white. Looks like you're black with white stripes after all. Dilemma solved. Good night. Number 33. Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written. Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written. Number 34. There's the dog. Number 34. Lions don't do this. Lions never had a lair like this. They're doing it for the pleasure. With sound effects. Lions don't do this. Lions never had a lair like this. They're doing it for the pleasure. And number 35, the last of the Leo ones. Did I falsely imprison those animals? Well, yes, I did. It was a classic doing the wrong thing for the right reason kind of a deal. Did I falsely imprison those animals? Yes, I did. It was a classic doing the wrong thing for the right reason kind of deal. Those questions are heading for your inboxes. And numbers 36 to 40 are Virgo the Virgin. So I'm going to describe 5 films to you, and I just need the name of the film. They're all related to virgins and virginity. Number 36, Sofia Coppola's debut film about 5 teenage sisters in 1970s Detroit. That's Sofia Coppola's debut film about 5 teenage sisters in 1970s Detroit. Number 37, Steve Carell stars as a sexually innocent electronic goods store worker in a film directed by Judd Apatow. So Steve Carell stars as a sexually innocent electronic goods store worker in a film directed by Judd Apatow. Number 38, A Medieval Story of Revenge, directed by Ingmar Bergman and based on a 13th century Swedish ballad. That's A Medieval Story of Revenge, directed by Ingmar Bergman and based on a 13th century Swedish ballad. Number 39, Jack Nicholson and Otis Young as Navy sailors tasked with transferring naive 18-year-old Randy Quaid across country to naval prison. Jack Nicholson and Otis Young as Navy sailors tasked with transferring naive 18-year-old Randy Quaid across country to naval prison. And number 40, Inspired by the Scarlet Letter, a 2010 high school comedy starring Emma Stone. So that's Inspired by the Scarlet Letter, 2010 high school comedy starring Emma Stone. The next 5 questions from 41 to 45 are courtroom dramas. I'm going to give you the names of 3 actors and I need you to write down the name of the film, the courtroom drama film. So number 41, Henry Fonda, Ed Begley, and Lee J. Cobb. Henry Fonda, Ed Begley, Lee J. Cobb. What courtroom drama were those three in? Number 42, the name of the film with these three in? Dustin Hoffman, Meryl Streep, Justin Henry. Dustin Hoffman, Meryl Streep, and Justin Henry. Number 43, Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore. Demi Moore. Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore. Number 44, Tyrone Power, Marlene Dietrich, and Charles Lawton. Courtroom drama. Tyrone Power, Marlene Dietrich, and Charles Lawton. So that was Libra the Scales, all justice. Oh, sorry, one more. 45. 45. Julia Roberts, Albert Finney, Aaron Eckhart. It's Julia Roberts, Albert Finney, and Aaron Eckhart. Got those in your mailbox? And the last 5 questions of this section, part 2. Scorpio, the scorpion. These are all scorpion related, or Scorpio related. So 46. What's the name of the film in which Ryan Gosling's character wears a silk jacket with a scorpion embroidered on the back? What's the name of the film with Ryan Gosling as a character wearing a silk jacket with a scorpion embroidered on the back? Number 47. Scorpio is the bad guy in which 1971 Clint Eastwood movie? Scorpio is the bad guy in which 1971 Clint Eastwood movie? 48. The Scorpion King movies are prequels to which fantasy adventure franchise starring Brendan Fraser? The Scorpion King movies are the prequels to which fantasy adventure franchise starring Brendan Fraser? Number 49. Scorpio Rising is a 1963 experimental occult short film featuring music by Ricky Nelson, Elvis Presley, and Ray Charles. Who was the director? Who was the director of 1963's Scorpio Rising? And then number 50. Ray Harryhausen's animated Scorpions attack the hero of which 1981 movie? Ray Harryhausen's animated scorpions attack the hero of which 1981 movie? So your mailbox has got all of those questions, those 25 questions in it. I'll give you a couple of minutes and then I will run through those answers and then I'm going to go and make a cup of tea. I suggest that you do the same, although you're also encouraged to make a nice cocktail. An old-fashioned or something simple and summery. Favourite cocktails in that box, please. I'm going to put my favourite cocktail in there right now. Okay. Anyone need any more time, or shall I do the answers for that chunk? That chunk. Okay, so the Leo the Lion questions. These were quotes from films. I just needed the titles of the films. Number 26. Everything the light touches is our kingdom is from The Lion King. I was going for the original Lion King. I don't know. I'm assuming that's in the new one as well, but The Lion King. Number 27. I'll tear them apart. I may not come out alive, but I'm going in there. There's only one thing I want you fellas to do. What's that? Talk me out of it. Is from The Wizard of Oz. Hence the Cowardly Lion voice. Number 28. Rubber Dinghy Rapids, bro. Brilliant. Is from Four Lions. Chris Morris's terrorism satire. Excellent film. Four Lions. 29. Although at one time we were afraid she'd die, Elsa did recover. And when she did, she seemed somehow different. Elsa was the clue in that one. It's from Born Free. And number 30, if anyone got this, well done. Number 30 is, what are you trying to prove? That you can have lions socializing with people? That's from 1981's Roar, R-O-A-R, the film with Tippi Hedren and Melanie Griffith, where they were on a set with real lions and tigers and leopards, and lots of people got injured. A real cult classic. That's Roar, 1981. Number 31. Oh, Eleanor, you've brought me my tombstone, you spoil me, is Peter O'Toole in 1968's The Lion in Winter. The Eleanor is Eleanor of Aquitaine to Peter O'Toole's Henry II. Number 32. 27, 28, 29, 30. 30 black and only 29 white. Looks like you're black with white stripes after all. Dilemma solved. Good night. Is Madagascar. Animated film Madagascar from 2005. Number 33. Do not cite the deep magic to me, which I was there when it was written, is from The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And number 34. Lions don't do this. Lions never had a lair like this. They're doing it for the pleasure. Is Michael Douglas as the hunter Charles Remington in the film The Ghost and the Darkness. And number 35. Did I falsely imprison those animals? Well, yes, I did. It was a classic doing the wrong thing for the right reason kind of a deal. Is Mayor Lionheart from the animated film Zootropolis. Zootopia is acceptable, as it was Zootopia in America, Zootropolis here, or the other way around. Next, Virgo the Virgin. The 5 films were, number 36, Sofia Coppola's debut film about 5 teenagers in 1970s Detroit is The Virgin Suicides. Number 37, Steve Carell played the 40-year-old virgin. 38, the Ingmar Bergman medieval story of revenge is The Virgin Spring. 39, Jack Nicholson and Otis Young as Navy sailors tasked with transferring naive 18-year-old Randy Quaid across country to naval prison is The Last Detail. And number 40, inspired by The Scarlet Letter, 2010 high school comedy with Emma Stone is Easy A, capital A. The next one were Libra, The Scales of Justice. The courtroom-based films from the named actors were Henry Fonda, Ed Begley, and Lee J. Cobb was 12 Angry Men. Dustin Hoffman, Meryl Streep, Justin Henry, it's Kramer versus Kramer. Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore is A Few Good Men. Tyrone Power, Marlene Dietrich, Charles Lawton is Witness for the Prosecution. And Julia Roberts, Albert Finney, Aaron Eckhart was Erin Brockovich. So 12 Angry Men, Kramer versus Kramer, A Few Good Men, Witness for the Prosecution, and Erin Brockovich. And Scorpio the Scorpion, the film with Ryan Gosling's character wearing a silk jacket with a scorpion embroidered on the back was Drive. 47, Scorpio is the bad guy in Dirty Harry. 48, the Scorpion King movies are the prequels to the Mummy franchise. 49, Scorpio Rising is a 1963 experimental occult short film that was directed by Kenneth Anger. What a good name. And number 50, Ray Harryhausen's animated Scorpions attack the hero of which 1981 movie? That was Clash of the Titans. Do you need any of those again? I can provide them. But I am going to go make a drink. If you've got any questions while I'm popping downstairs to get a drink. Do you need a drink? Five minutes. I'll be back at 8:37 approximately. See you in a moment. No cup of tea. Pre-made lemon barley. It's too hot for tea. Okay, so I hope you're all adding your scores up, ready to send them at the very end. Everyone all right out there? Not hearing anything from anybody. I'm not just shouting into the void, am I? You are doing the quiz, right? Are you all here doing a quiz? Are you here? No one's there. Good choice, Amy. I wish this was not lemon barley. Okay, we're going to get started again. Next, 25 questions. Quicker than last time. Not quite as waffly. No, plug 4. Keep them till the end. Send them when you've got the whole lot. Send your scores when you've got everything done at the end. I'll let you know when. Okay, part 3. Questions 51 to 55. We're on to Sagittarius, the archer. I was going to do this on Powell and Pressburger, as they are known as the archers. However, I then realised that the Sagittarius is also a centaur, so he's a human-animal hybrid. So you got 5 questions that are about films with human-animal hybrids instead. 51. Who directed Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah in the mermaid rom-com Splash? Who directed Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah in Splash? Number 52. What's the name of Guillermo del Toro's 2006 fantasy film in which a labyrinth-dwelling Pan sets a young girl 3 gruesome tasks to prove that she's a princess? I'll say that one again because I did it very badly. What's the name of Guillermo del Toro's 2006 fantasy film in which a labyrinth-dwelling a labyrinth-dwelling faun sets a young girl 3 gruesome tasks to prove that she's a princess? Guillermo del Toro's 2006 fantasy film. '53. Sorry. Back with you in a second. Sorry, just correcting my own questions because I wrote these when I was very tired. And I always get this one muddled up. So in question 53, who played Seth Brundle, the unfortunate scientist who was spliced with the eponymous insect in David Cronenberg's classic horror, The Fly? Who played Seth Brundle? I always think it's Martin Brundle, but he's a racing driver, isn't he? Who played Seth Brundle, the unfortunate scientist who was spliced with the eponymous insect in David Cronenberg's classic horror, The Fly? 53. 54. Island of Lost Souls is the 1932 adaptation of a science fiction novel by H.G. Wells that tells the story of sinister evolutionary experiments on a remote island. Charles Lawton played the Doctor carrying out these unusual activities. What was the name of his character? Charles Lawton's character in Island of Lost Souls. And number 55, Abe Sapien, that's A-B-E, and then S-A-P-I-E-N, Abe Sapien, is the fish man associate of which demonic comic book character who has so far been the subject of films in 2004, 2008, and then a reboot in 2019. Abe Sapien is the fish man associate of which demonic comic book character who's so far been the subject of films in 2004, 2008, and 2019. I'm sending those questions over with the correction. Terrible corrections. And we move on to Aquarius, the water carrier. The water carrying side of this was not easy to write questions about other than Waterboy, Adam Sandler's Waterboy. So instead, I've got you 5 questions. I'm going to give you a description of a film and a couple of its actors, and I'd like you to tell me the name of the film. The film titles they all contain things that you could carry water in. Okay, the film titles all have something you could carry water in. So number 61. Three friends plan a small-scale robbery but then get tangled up with the local criminals' bigger schemes. Stars Luke and Owen Wilson and James Caan. So the film title contains a word that represents something you could carry water in. 3 friends plan a small-scale robbery but then get tangled up with the local criminals' bigger schemes. With Luke and Owen Wilson and James Caan. Number 62. Two terminally ill men break out of a cancer ward and go on an adventure. Starring Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman. Two terminally ill men break out of a cancer ward and go on an adventure. I've just realised I've missed that round. I'm going to carry on with this one. So we're on 62. I've realised I've missed out 56 to 60. I'm going to come back to those. 63. 63 is the third film in the East Rail 177 trilogy, starring Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and James McAvoy. The third film in the East Rail 177 trilogy, starring Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and James McAvoy. Number 64. A former golfing pro who has not competed for a long time falls for the girlfriend of his arch rival. That's a film starring Kevin Costner and Rene Russo. 64. Rene Russo, Kevin Costner. And 65. A teenager is surprised to find himself competing in the Tri-Wizard tournament, starring Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. A teenager is surprised to find himself competing in the Tri-Wizard tournament, starring Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. So I'm just mailing you 61 to 65. And now we're going to go back to 56 to 60 because I was an idiot. 56 to 60 is Capricorn the Goat. 5 questions. Goat related topics. So there aren't that many films about goats. Okay, number 56. The Men Who Stare at Goats came to the big screen in 2009, starring Ewan McGregor and George Clooney. Who is the author of the book from which it was adapted? Who wrote the book, The Men Who Stare at Goats? Number 57. A goat called Black Phillip, featured in which 2015 horror film directed by Robert Eggers, E-G-G-E-R-S, Eggers. Number 58. In which 1993 blockbuster does Ariana Richards utter the line, "Where's the goat?" 1993 blockbuster, Ariana Richards utters the line, "Where's the goat?" Number 59. In which Norwegian found footage mockumentary does a poacher called Hans use 3 goats on a bridge as bait to catch a creature of folklore and legend? In which Norwegian found footage mockumentary does a poacher called Hans use 3 goats on a bridge as bait to catch a creature of folklore and legend? And number 60. 60. In the Toy Story films, who are Billy, Goat, and Gruff? In the Toy Story films, who are Billy, Goat, and Gruff? So we've done 61 to 65. Apologies. 56 to 60 is just about to hit your mailbox. And we got the last 10. The last 10 are coming. It's gone very quickly. Sorry. Okay, so the last 10 are the last of the zodiac signs, which is Pisces, the fish. There's a lot of fish in films, but I split this into two because I wanted to do two different types. So the first 5 are films with the word fish in the name. Number 66. Who played the creepy new boyfriend in Andrea Arnold's 2009 film Fish Tank? Who played the creepy new boyfriend in Andrea Arnold's 2009 film Fish Tank? Number 67. 2 members of the Monty Python team appear in A Fish Called Wanda. One of them is John Cleese. Who's the other one? 2 members of the Monty Python team appear in A Fish Called Wanda. One of them is John Cleese. Who is the other one? '68. Who directed Matt Dillon and Mickey Rourke in the 1983 film Rumblefish? Who directed Matt Dillon and Mickey Rourke in the 1983 film Rumblefish? Number 69. Who played both the young and old versions of Jenny and a witch in Tim Burton's Big Fish? Tim Burton's Big Fish. Who played Jenny, both young and old, and also a witch? And number 70. Help, I'm a Fish is an animated film from the year 2000 that featured the voice talents of Alan Rickman and Aaron Paul in its English dub. But what language was the film made in? What was the original language of Help, I'm a Fish? And the second part of this chunk on Pisces, the last 5 questions in the quiz. I have a fish, a kind of fish, in my name. Who am I? Just give me the name of the actor or the character. 71. I am a seemingly ageless comedy actor. I have worked regularly with Judd Apatow and have been in a number of Marvel movies. I am a seemingly ageless comedy actor. I have worked regularly with Judd Apatow and have been in a number of Marvel movies. 72. I am an English actor and professional wrestler who featured in all 3 of the good Indiana Jones films, as well as in A Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon, Willow, and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Who am I? An English actor and professional wrestler who appeared in all 3 of the good Indiana Jones films, as well as in A Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon, Willow, and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Number 73. I am an American painter played by Ed Harris in the film of my life. Who is that? Who am I? I am an American painter played by Ed Harris in the film of my life. 74. I am an English actress who starred in Gone Girl, Made in Dagenham, A United Kingdom, and A Private War. I am an English actress who starred in Gone Girl, Made in Dagenham, A United Kingdom, and A Private War. And the last question, number 75. Who am I? I am an alcoholic sailor played by Andy Serkis in the Steven Spielberg adaptation of comic books that I have been a main character in since 1941. I am an alcoholic sailor played by Andy Serkis in the Steven Spielberg adaptation of comic books that I have been a main character in since 1941. Who am I? I have a fish in my name. All of those 5 had fish in their names. They're all in your mailbox. So that's all of the quiz. So you've got your picture rounds. Is everyone? Can you let me know if you finished on your picture rounds? I'll give you a couple of more minutes just to get anything that you want from those 25 questions, and then I'll give you all the answers. I think you've got everything. I think. Does anyone need anything? So I'm going to run through those. Yeah, Dave, not a problem. I'm going to run through the answers to those 25 questions. Then we'll do the picture round. So you've got time while we go through those. And then add up your scores. You should have a score out of 99. So there's 75 questions, maximum of 24 for the picture round. I didn't tell you that there was a theme for the picture round. Let's make it out of 100. If you get the theme of the picture round, there's an extra point, and then that means there's 100 points. I should have thought that in the first place. So yeah, at the bottom of your picture round set, give yourself number 13 on there, and it's the theme of the picture round. Make sense? The theme of the picture round. Okay, I'm going to go through the 25 questions. Keep doing your picture rounds in the background if you'd like. So questions 51 to 55 were Sagittarius, the Centaur, so films with a human-animal hybrid in them. Number 51, who directed Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah in the mermaid rom-com Splash? That was Ron Howard. Number 52, what's the name of Guillermo del Toro's 2006 fantasy film with a labyrinth-dwelling faun? That was Pan's Labyrinth. 53. Who played Martin Seth Brundle, the scientist in The Fly? That was Jeff Goldblum. One day I'll remember that it's Seth, not Martin Brundle. 54. Island of Lost Souls is the 1933 adaptation of a science fiction novel by H.G. Wells. Charles Lawton played the Doctor in that film. He was Dr. Moreau. Moreau. Dr. Moreau. 55. Abe Sapien is the Fishman associate of which demonic comic book character? That was Hellboy. Hellboy. And then, sorry if this bit got confused, I missed a round out. So hopefully you've got 56 to 60 and then 61 on. So 56, the goat-related questions, Capricorn the Goat. The Men Who Stare at Goats came to the big screen in 2009. It was based on a book by John Ronson. 57, a goat called Black Phillip features in the horror film The Witch. If you put witch with a double V, that's acceptable. 58, 1993 blockbuster with the line, "Where's the goat?" is Jurassic Park. 59, in which Norwegian found footage mockumentary does a poacher called Hans use 3 goats on a bridge as bait to catch a creature of folklore and legend? That's Troll Hunter. Troll Hunter. Number 60, in the Toy Story films, Billy, Goat, and Gruff are Bo Peep's sheep. Aquarius the Water Carrier. These film titles contain things you can carry water in. 3 friends plan a small-scale robbery but then get tangled up with local criminals' bigger schemes. Starring Luke and Owen Wilson and James Caan. That film is called Bottle Rocket. Number 62. 2 terminally ill men break out of a cancer ward and go on an adventure. Starring Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman. That is The Bucket List. 63. The third film in the East Rail 177 trilogy, starring Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and James McAvoy, is Glass. 64. A former golfing pro who has not competed for a long time falls for the girlfriend of his arch rival, starring Kevin Costner and Rene Russo. That's Tin Cup. 65. A teenager is surprised to find himself competing in the Tri-Wizard tournament, starring Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. That's Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. So you should have had Bottle Rocket, The Bucket List, Glass, Tin Cup, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Pisces the Fish. Films with fish in the name. 66. Who played the creepy new boyfriend in Andrea Arnold's 2009 film Fish Tank? That was Michael Fassbender. 67. 2 members of the Monty Python team appear in A Fish Called Wanda. One is John Cleese. The other was Michael Palin. 68. Who directed Matt Dillon and Mickey Rourke in the 1983 film Rumblefish? Francis Ford Coppola. 69. In Tim Burton's Big Fish, Helena Bonham Carter played the young and old versions of Jenny and a witch. Helena Bonham Carter. And number 70. Help, I'm a Fish is an animated film from 2000 that featured the voice talents of Alan Rickman and Aaron Paul in its English dub. What language was the film made in? Help, I'm a Fish was made in Danish. And then the Who Am I? The last 5. Who am I? I have a fish in my name. 71. I am a seemingly ageless comedy actor. I've worked regularly with Judd Apatow and have been in a number of Marvel movies. I am Paul Rudd. 72. I am an English actor and professional wrestler who featured in all 3 of the good Indiana Jones films as well as A Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon, Willow, and Robin Hood. I am Pat Roach. 73. I am an American painter played by Ed Harris in the film of my life. I am Jackson Pollock. Pollock is one of the best soft white fish. 74. I am an English actress who starred in Gone Girl, Made in Dagenham, A United Kingdom, and A Private War. I am Rosamund Pike. And the last one, 75. I am an alcoholic sailor played by Andy Serkis in the Steven Spielberg adaptation of comic books that I've been a main character of since 1941. I am Captain Haddock. All good? Does anyone need any of those answers to be read out to them again? Or have you all been keeping up nicely? Everyone bored of lockdown now? Okay. Picture round. Dave, Ryan, I hope you're finished. I'm doing the picture round. Okay. 2 marks against each one. So number 1, the actor is Cillian Murphy. The film is Disco Pigs. Disco Pigs from 2001. Number 2, the actor is Tim Curry. Film is Annie. Number 3, that crazy looking character is Monkey Bone. Monkey Bone. And he was voiced by John Turturro. 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 Number 4, the character is Snake Plissken. Plissken. And the film is Escape from New York. That's from that still. If you put Escape from Los Angeles, okay. But it's Escape from New York. Number 5, that character is Tiger Tanaka. And the film is You Only Live Twice. Number 6, that actor under duress is Richard Harris. And the film is A Man Called Horse. Number 7, that film is Jojo Rabbit. The director is Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi. Number 8, that's Buster Keaton. And the film is called The Goat. Number 9, that is George Segal. Segal. The film is King Rat. Number 10, that character is Francis Dollarhide, or the Red Dragon, or the Great Red Dragon. Any of those will do. The film is Manhunter. So it's Francis Dollarhide, the Great Red Dragon. Number 11, that character is called Ox, Dewey Oxburger, and the film is Stripes. And number 12, that's Ghost Dog. He's played by Forrest Whitaker from a great film, Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai. So you should have had Cillian Murphy, Disco Pigs, Tim Curry, Annie, Monkey Bone, John Turturro, Snake Plissken, Escape from New York, Tiger Tanaka, You Only Live Twice, Richard Harris, A Man Called Horse, Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi, Buster Keaton, The Goat, King Rat, George Siegel, Francis Dolarhyde, the Great Red Dragon, Manhunter, Ox, Stripes, Ghost Dog, Forrest Whitaker. The theme being they were the 12 Chinese zodiac signs to represent the different years. So Cillian Murphy is in Disco Pigs. He also plays a character in that called Pig. Tim Curry in Annie played a character called Rooster Hannigan. Monkey, Bone, Snake, Pliskin, Tiger, Tanaka, Richard Harris in A Man Called Horse, Jojo Rabbit, Buster Keaton in The Goat, King Rat, Francis Dolarhyde, The Great Red Dragon, Ox, and Ghost Dog. So there are your 12 Chinese zodiac symbols and your 24 answers. And if you put Chinese zodiac as number 13, you got 25 marks. So I hope that was a bit of fun. And I hope it wasn't too hard or too easy. Drop me your emails. So tot your scores up. You should have a maximum of 100. If too many of you've got 100, it was either too easy or you're all cheating. So please don't all have 100. Email them over to info@snowcatcinema.co.uk, or Steve, you can stick your score in there if you like. It's fine. And I think there are some people playing on Facebook as well who are not on the email. So just let me know your scores somehow. You can put them on any of the social media channels if you're not too ashamed to share your score, or email them to me. I will wait till those come in. I know roughly how many teams we've got. Thank you, Dave. Not as many teams this time. I think at the start, when we first did this, everyone was so desperate to do stuff because it was lockdown that we had loads and loads of people playing. But thank you all for tuning in for this. I know it's an evening of your time, and thank you for sitting and listening to me talking nonsense. Hang on, what's going on here? 57. So, 38 without the... Thank you, Steve. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry you didn't have the pictures. I think if we do another one of these, I'm going to try and work out some way of doing a split shared screen so that I can put clips and stuff up. It's just I'm not technically proficient enough to do it. Alan Robinson. Okay, we're getting the scores through. Thank you. And they're good scores too. Okay, we've got a couple more still to come. Unless you've done them on here. You haven't. Unexpected item in the baggaging. Thank you. Okay, we've got, I think, 2 or 3 left to come through. There's one. There's another. Hey, do you know what? You've all done well, and they're all quite close together, which for me indicates that I didn't make it stupidly mean and hard. We've got a tie break. Right, bear with me. Bear with me.